To make our lovely little winter bears today, you're going to need a pencil and your piece of art to remember paper. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name. We're writing our name in the bottom corner along with our teacher code, whatever that is. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our bear's head. And when we draw our bear's head, we want to draw lightly on our page. I like to practice drawing lightly with my pencil on the back of my hand. If you're pushing hard, it will kind of hurt your hand. So practice drawing lightly. We're going to start by drawing the outline of our bear's head. We don't want it to be humongous, and we don't want it to be too teeny tiny. So I'm going to start right in the middle of my page. And I'm gonna go up, 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 around, 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 down, down, down. Okay. Now we're going to create our bear's ears. So on the side, I'm gonna create a curve, kind of like a half circle. And another curve. And then inside each of these ears, I'm going to do another little half circle inside. Okay. Now I'm going to create the sides of my bear's body, and the body is going to be a little bit wider than his head, so I'm going to make these lines come out a bit and go all the way down, come out and all the way down. If you would like to give your bear a scarf and a sweater, then I'm going to teach you how to draw the scarf first. So right down here, kind of under his face, I'm going to do a curved line like so. If you want to do the sweater, you're also just going to do a curved line. Now underneath that, I'm going to leave some space for the thickness of the scarf, and I'm going to do another curved line. I like to make my scarf look like it's wrapped around his body, so I'm actually going to do another curve right like that to make it look like it's wrapping around him. Same on this side. Okay. And oftentimes the scarf has those ends that stick out, so I'm going to do a rectangle. And I'm going to do another rectangle. If there's a line going through your rectangle, all you have to do is erase it. Since our scarf is sitting on top of the body, I'm not going to see that line of his body there. And of course, if you want to add some fringe to the end of your scarf, that can be done too. All right, now let's talk about the rest of our bear's face. We're going to draw the spot where his nose is going to go. And this shape kind of reminds me of an avocado. It's oval like an avocado or like a peanut. So I'm going to go about down here, and I'm going to make a curve. And then I'm going to go down, down, and then I'm going to make another curve. For my bear's eyes, I'm going to do 2 circles right to the sides of his nose. Circle 1, circle 2. I can make my bear's eyes look like they're shiny and extra cute by adding these little white circles. I like to call them light catchers because the light catches the eye. So all I have to do to make those is just draw a circle towards the top edge of the eyeball and a little smaller circle down there. And then when we color these in, we're coloring around those little white circles, filling in the rest of that big circle. Same thing on the other side. Big circle and a smaller circle, and then fill it in. Okay. Now let's create the little black nose and the mouth. There's a couple of different ways to make a nose. You could do a sideways oval. You could do a nose that's kind of more triangular like this. Or you could make the nose look like it almost has nostrils by going in and down and around like that. Okay. So I think I'm going to do just a regular oval nose. So down here towards the bottom or middle, I'm going to make an oval. And for the mouth, I can do a couple of things as well. I could create a little kind of a fish hook mouth. I like to call that a fish hook mouth. I could create an upside down Y mouth, like so. Or you could even create a mouth that looks open. So I could do something like this where I do a line and then a curve. And I could even make him look like he has teeth by doing a tooth on one side, a tooth on the other side, and even some little teeth on the bottom by doing 3 little bumps. And then I can color in the background to make those teeth really stand out. Okay. So I think for this one, I'm going to do the upside down Y. So I'm going to do a straight line, diagonal line, diagonal line. Oh, he looks kind of sad. And I could also add some little dots on his nose for his whiskers. Okay, now we're ready to start thinking about adding some designs to his scarf and sweater. So I can think about some simple types of patterns and lines. Maybe I decide to make my sweater, or I'm sorry, my scarf striped. So I can add some lines to his scarf. And for the sweater, I'm gonna break it down into some sections. So I want you to turn your paper sideways, and I'm gonna create some curves that go all the way across until they hit another line. Since I'm running into the scarf, I'm gonna stop until I get down to the bottom. Inside each of these sections, I'm gonna create some fun types of lines. How about I try a zigzag? How about a bumpy line? Maybe I try and make a pattern, snowflake, heart, snowflake, heart. And then I think I'm gonna do a diagonal line. Okay, I'm all finished. Now I'm gonna get out a Sharpie and outline. Now we have our bear outlined, and we're going to give his face some texture. And to do this, we're going to be using a skinnier marker, a fine line Sharpie, and we're going to be doing some repeating dashed lines to look like fur. So I can start right up in the ears, and I'm just going to do a little line that repeats itself over and over again to fill it up. Same on his head. I'm going to just start making a line and repeating it to fill up his face. The only place I'm going to leave blank is this part of his nose, and that's going to stand out a little bit better if I leave it without those dashed lines. So now we're ready to start talking about color. I'm going to use some crayons to add color to my bear. And maybe you decide on a brown or a gray to do for your bear's face. I'm going to choose these two shades of brown. And I think I'm going to do one shade of brown on the inside of the ear and in this part of his nose. And I'm going to do another color of brown on the outside of his face. When we are coloring today, we want to do our very, very best coloring. We're staying right inside of the lines. We're filling in all of the white places. Let's see. This will work. We're coloring in one direction, and we're not scribble scrabbling. This is scribble scrabble. Since we're in first grade, we can do a really great job coloring. And remember, these are going to be special artworks that we can get printed on things that we're going to keep. So we want to do our very, very best work. I'm being careful to not color over those little white spots in my eyes. Okay, so now when I'm ready to add color to my scarf and my sweater, I also want to be thinking about pattern. So maybe for my scarf of stripes, I do a pattern of blue and orange, and I repeat that. Or red and green, and repeat that.